Hello, everyone. See that there's a couple of people logging in here. We'll just give them another second or so and we'll get started. There we go. The number stopped adding up there. Great. Well, let's get started. Welcome, everybody, to our webinar today, Beyond the Yelp Review, Be Chosen, Be Found. My name is Michael Schnall. I am Vice President of Customer Acquisition at DSG, and I am privileged today to be joined by two of our partners at Yelp, Mo and Christina. Why don't you say hello and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Christina Ng. I'm the Partner Sales Marketing Manager at Yelp, and I help support Yelp's advertising partner program and raise awareness of the benefits of working with a member of a program like DSG is. So really excited to be here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mo Sidique. I'm a partner sales consultant at Yelp, and I work with marketing agencies like DSG to help drive better results for the businesses that they work with in terms of advertising on Yelp and optimizing their campaigns.
Great, guys. Welcome, and thank you for coming on today. And thank you to everyone on the call for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend. We've got a lot of great information we want to share with you today. But before we get started, just a little bit of housekeeping. Our discussion today will probably run about 30-35 minutes, and we've left time for questions at the end. If you take a look at your panel on the webinar, there's an area where you can input questions. If you have any, please go ahead. And if you need to contact us kind of in the interim while we're talking, there is a chat box as well. So feel free to send us a message. That one's usually, hey, we can't hear you, or something to that effect. But we've got a lot to present today, and I'm looking forward to it. So let's get started. First, a little bit about DSG. DSG is a digital marketing agency specializing in helping clients develop and optimize their online presence. So our focus here is on claiming, creating, and fully populating the numerous online profiles that a business has on review sites, on search engines, on online directories, social media platforms, nav and mapping apps, and more. There are really quite a few of these. So once we have that foundation built out for our clients, then we start to layer some of the lead generation aspects on top of it. Digital, mobile, traditional, social, pay for performance. We use a variety of media platforms in order to drive leads to our optimized online presence.
And I think this slide just might need to be updated. Just double check.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks, Mo. I saw that too.
Let's see.
You might need to put it in present mode.
Okay. Sorry, everyone, for the technical difficulties.
There we go. Okay. Comes with the territory, right?
Remote work life,
That's right. That's right. So with online listings as our focus, I think it would come as no surprise that Yelp is a core platform for us and our partners. And most people are aware of Yelp. It's got a very, very well-known brand. Obviously, it's a mobile app and website that connects people with great local businesses like yours. But it's more than that. One thing that we note about Yelp is that it really drives passionate engagement. It's always a surprise to me just how many people are willing to take time and document their experience with a particular business, whether good, bad, indifferent. there's just a huge volume of that engagement, and often in great detail on the consumer side. Similarly, when we start talking about Yelp with our clients, they will be very proud if they have good reviews, right, and high ratings, and often talk about that. And frankly, if they've got some reviews that are less than stellar and they perhaps think are unwarranted, they will not be shy about letting us know about those either. But I think the point is that from numerous touch points, you've got plenty of engagement on the platform. So the way people search has changed, and that's almost becoming like a cliche or a meme. You hear that all the time, and you probably can have your own webinar just on that. But what we want to focus on today is how people more and more are using reviews as part of their decision-making process. So, when they do searches, when they research a service or a product, part of that is going to be looking at a company's ratings, at their reviews, at the different things that they do in order to make a final decision. And Google even recognizes this. As far as ranking factors go, Google attributes reviews to be about 15% of the ranking factors for their SEO. So it's real important. And as you can see here, Yelp is really the go-to and most trusted platform in the space, with 46% of users saying Yelp is the most influential review site. So again, people are deep in the purchase funnel and looking to make a decision about what business they're going to buy, and Yelp is very influential and a trusted source. Grace, we having trouble with the slides again?
I'm sorry, I can see the slides.
Yeah, for some reason on my end, I can't see it in present mode. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yeah, same on this end.
There we go.
I think let's just go one or two just to double check it.
Yeah. You want to just flip back and forth there, Grace? Okay. All right. I think we're back in business. Thanks for your patience, everybody. So next slide, we see that Yelp gets a tremendous volume of traffic also. 51 million uniques in February of 2021. At different parts of the year, we actually see that spike higher. And so we kind of look at where we've been, right? We've got passionate engagement on the platform. We've got large traffic volume on the platform. We've got trust. And so DSG as an agency, we look at that and we try and figure out, okay, what can we do to activate that in order to drive more leads and more conversions for our clients?
Yeah, Michael, I think everything you brought up so far really speaks to the massive opportunity that exists on Yelp for business owners. And I think, now's a really good time just to emphasize that these opportunities are really present on our platform, no matter what line of business you're in. I know it's, very widely believed that Yelp is just for consumers who are looking for a restaurant, but that's really just not the case. So we wanted to show you here that even in the past year, each month, we were still seeing millions of users who are searching and visiting pages across all of these categories. So that includes, your home services, your auto, beauty, hotels, really everything. So for any of those of you who are on the call who aren't in, a food or restaurant industry, and maybe in the past you've written Yelp off as an ineffective channel for you, I really encourage you, take a look at these numbers and think of all those potential customers that you don't want to be missing out on.
Yeah, you make a great point, Christina, and we've kind of learned that lesson. We will do an analysis and evaluate Yelp for every one of our clients, no matter what vertical they're in, and we're often surprised where there's great opportunities and even results. The results aren't always going to the great results aren't always necessarily going to be in the verticals where you'd expect. We've actually got some examples of that later on when we look at some of the case studies that we've done. So we know there's a lot of agencies and SMBs on the call today. And what we really wanted to try to accomplish is to give you, we've got the experts on, so we want to give practical tips and advice on what you can do, on the levers that you can potentially pull to increase your presence on Yelp and to get your business both chosen and found. We've got people who are ready to buy. They're doing a search on Yelp and they're starting to click inside of all these profiles that we discussed. What is it that you can do to sort of answer their questions in advance and ensure that you get their business, that they like what they see and you get their business?
Yeah, so I'm happy to kind of walk the group through some of the things that you could be doing. I think overall, when you think about what it takes to be chosen, it's all about putting your best foot forward and really just trying to make it obvious and easy for a consumer to choose you. So where you can start with this is, your actual business listing on Yelp. And I like to say, you got to think about it as your online dating profile for your business. Like there's a lot of fish in the sea, but there's also a lot of business pages on Yelp. So sure, you could definitely just, claim your page and get your basic information on there and call it a day, but you're just going to get lost amongst all of the other pages that are doing the exact same thing. So, what you really want to be doing, again, just like in the dating world, is you got to let your personality shine and show off your business's unique value. So by leveraging just some standard profile enhancements, you'll really be able to stand out. And this is what we wanted to show you here. There's an example of a business on the left who, they just opted for a lot of the default Yelp listing options, like, again, many businesses on the site do, versus on the right is a business who's taken advantage of the Yelp enhanced profile option, which really just allows for more customization and more control over what does and doesn't appear on the page. And when you put them side by side, I hope it's starting to look pretty clear that the business with more detail on their page would get chosen over the other. And then, just a little bit more on the enhanced profile. Like I was saying, this option really provides the freedom and flexibility to showcase your business's strengths in whatever way that you think is best to drive engagement with the consumers that you want to reach. So first off, of course, you want to make sure that all your business information is correct, the right address, the right contact information, anything that lets a consumer on your page connect with you faster. You can even use a call to action button to direct them exactly where you need them to go. And then from there, you can also fully customize the messaging and photos on your page and make sure it all captures your voice and your aesthetic in order to maintain your brand's consistency. You actually even have the ability to feature a video on your page too, which it's a little extra benefit that's exclusively available to you by working with one of our agency partners like DSG. And then one thing I don't want to forget is, one of the best things about an enhanced profile is the ability to remove competitor ads from your page. So anyone who gets to your page, will remove those ads and keep them completely focused on you. And these are all features and advantages of an enhanced profile that you can definitely leverage to help, get you chosen.
And earlier, Michael, I think you brought up a great point when you mentioned the way that people search and choose businesses are completely different than before. And something that we saw on our end is just comes with the profile and page upgrades that we have available. As you see on the screen, we have verified license, logos, business highlights, and portfolios. Each of those tools can be used in different markets, but at the same time, a unique way where a business can show who they are. For example, with the verified license, this is often used in the home service space where most of the people that have valid state trade license can actually put that on their page and show that, hey, I'm a business and I have a verified license for these specific services. And from that, it kind of sets them apart from their competitors, but at the same time, it gives them that legitimacy that they have as a business. When it comes to logos, something that we often do and something that I often do with DSG when we work with clients, being that it's like that local market, we really work with the hyper local sense in terms of advertising. Logos plays a major role. One, when it comes to just brand recognition. Where if someone's walking around the neighborhood, they recognize your logo, they search online, they see you again. Those little things ties in. On the flip side, if it's a multi-location business, logos can play a key role in keeping everything uniform across all the pages that you have on the platform. Now, business highlights, one of my favorite tools. It's little badges that where business can somewhat let you know, like, hey, I'm open 24/7, or different things in the nature, just to highlight the business attributes that you have. If you have discounts available, I love discounts. So that's something that I look for whenever I purchase. And lastly, we just want to talk about the portfolios. So when it comes to portfolios, lots of businesses use this. For example, hair salon, they can show different works that they do. A mechanic can show different works that they do on that end. I've seen DSG use it in a unique way where they use it as coupons, and that can entice someone to click and make that purchasing decision. So page upgrades are great, and it's a great way to help you get chosen at the end of the day.
Cool. Yeah, great call outs, Mo. I feel like there are like layers upon layers of things you can be doing on Yelp just with your profile to get to that endpoint and get you chosen as a business. The final layer really is, I wanted to point out that there is, significance to the current times we're living in, and we're actually seeing that consumers are using Yelp to seek out information related to COVID-19, especially as it pertains to how they interact with businesses that they're considering. So again, this is just another opportunity for you as business owners to, again, make it easy for these consumers to choose you by now leveraging your page to explain any updates or changes you've made to your business or your service offerings during the pandemic. So for example, if you've gone virtual during this time, Mo was talking about the business highlights. We actually have highlights that are specific to COVID that will help you communicate those types of changes. And then similarly, if you're at a physical location and you're enforcing mask wearing or social distancing, there's a big banner on the front of your page that you can customize to clarify those changes as well. And then generally, I just feel like it's important to remember that changing times means that consumer priorities change, their buying behavior has changed. So it's really important to keep that in mind and be able to adapt to those trends as you think about being chosen even in very uncertain circumstances.
That's great, guys. Thank you. Excellent information on how to be chosen. Just kind of summarizing from a 30,000-foot level here, it really is all about the profile. You want to communicate everything about your business that makes you unique and gives you an edge. And so you want to completely populate that profile with all of your services and all of the information about your company. Those page upgrades are important as well. I've kind of learned the hard way over the years that I won't do business with a contractor who doesn't have a license. And so even what might seem like smaller things like that give you an edge. Essentially, when people come to your page, they've got questions, they're deep in decision mode, and they're trying to figure out who to deal with. And so if you can proactively answer those questions for them, you'll be making a lot of progress toward being chosen by them. As far as the COVID-19 support, guys, I just want to give your team kudos for that. When the pandemic hit, you guys really rolled that out very quickly. And I think that was a key attribute that you added, because people were going on Yelp to see how to do business with particular companies. Was there curbside pickup? Were they even open? How do I do business with this company? And in many ways, as we hopefully continue to come out of it, it's still really important. I think with the new guidelines and different rules in different states and even different businesses wanting to interact with their own protocols, it's really important to understand exactly how to do business with somebody, and if you need to wear a mask when you go in, or if they're coming into your home, if they're going to be wearing a mask, et cetera, et cetera. So really want to dig deep into your profile, put everything you possibly can on it. What we've really found is that there's kind of a compound interest effect. The more you do on that profile, the more response you're going to get. Adding photos, particularly professional photos that paint your company and your brand in a good light, have a great impact, as do the logos, as do a custom link so that someone can request either an appointment or a quote from you. All of these things that you do, it's kind of like 1 + 1 + 1 ends up equaling 12 from what we find. So lots of great information there on how to be chosen. And now we sort of want to back up a little bit, as a lot of the searches that people are doing are unbranded. They're just kind of looking for a vendor or a provider. And so wanted to give some information on how to be found, how to increase your presence and exposure on Yelp so that people can find you easier. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Christina.
Thanks. Yeah, I think we've gone into great detail about everything that you can do on the profile to be chosen, but none of that matters if no one can find you. So this is where Yelp CPC, or cost per click ads, come in and really make your business discoverable on the platform. So the Yelp ads piece, it's really important because this gets your business in front of all of those millions of users that we showed you before, who, again, they're searching for what you offer at the exact moment that they're looking for a business like yours. And why is it important that they find out about you at that moment? It's because the vast majority, I'm talking 97% of people who use Yelp, they go on to spend money with the business they just found there. So when you think about it, that's money that you're leaving on the table by not leveraging CPC ads as well. And these ads, high visibility across the platform, they appear above the organic search results delivered to any user search. And they also appear on the pages of similar businesses. So right there, that's already 2 channels on Yelp that deliver you customers, one of which is actually redirecting them toward you, even if they're on your competitor's page. And then on top of that, we also ensure that Yelp ads will deliver you the best fit customers for your business as well. So they're already targeted at a hyper-local level, but they can be further customized to deliver to specific zip codes you specify. So even if you're in a physical location, but you service an area that's a couple towns away, we can make sure that the ads get delivered to people who are in that area too. They'll also, deliver to searches that are most relevant to you. So say you're like a window repair service, and you get calls for people who want windows installed, and you just don't offer that. We can make sure that your ad won't appear for someone who's typing in an irrelevant search for something that you don't actually offer.
That's great, Christina. Thank you. So we want to kind of try and pull it all together now. the different things that we've shown for being chosen and being found. Before we do, we've got some case studies, and I know Mo's chomping at the bit to share them with you. But before we do, I just kind of want to explain that as a Yelp partner, we are deeply integrated with Yelp and get a tremendous amount of support from them. And a big part of that is Mo, and who really helps us drill down and do deep analysis on every type of client, every vertical in their geography to really kind of excavate what the opportunity is going to be here. And then even a step beyond that, Mo helps us develop the strategies for our clients and make suggestions as to what they would do. And, as a strategist, I really have found him to be spot on and really kind of measured in what he recommends in order to lift response, and lift ROI for our clients. And so does a great job with that. And so we wanted to give a couple of examples here of campaigns that we've worked on together and what actually happens when you start to put these elements together by enhancing your profile page and using the cost per click ads to help be found as well. So with that, I'll hand it over to you, Mo.
First of all, Michael, I just want to let you know, for my wedding, you're going to be the one that's going to introduce. So thank you very much.
I'll practice the same thing with a champagne glass in my hand.
Use the same one. Use the same one. I like that. But thank you very much for the introduction. And today we're going to talk a little bit about two different cases in terms of how DSG and Yelp and that partnership, we work together. So right here, we're looking at the Roto-Rooter brand, which is a 15 location plumbing and water cleanup company that we worked with. And prior to Yelp, working with the Yelp partnership, they loved the leads that they were receiving from Yelp, but the two problems they were running into were, the first, they weren't getting found. And at the same time, they wanted more traffic to their website or to their Yelp listing. And the second was that, so they weren't being found. Sorry, let me just check. And they weren't, they weren't being found, and then they weren't converting as many leads while they were on the Yelp listing. So several things that we worked on together was just looking at the inventory of the area in the first place, just to see if, the areas that they're advertising and spending ad dollars, are those areas going to generate conversions and leads for them? So we found that there were tons of leads in that area. And what we were able to then do was just hone in on using some of the page upgrades, such as the enhanced profiles and the verified license, to just show that these are verified workers around this area, and these are the actual categories, or these are the hot button keywords that we want to utilize on our page to help generate better conversion, so that when someone does end up on their page ready to make that purchase decision, they're going to make that purchase decision. We saw phenomenal results right off the bat after our test, where they received, let's say, about 8x more leads than they did in the past, and we were able to get a conversion rate of about 80% throughout the pandemic. So over 80% throughout the pandemic, and still going strong with that campaign right now. So they're very happy with that. Another case study that we had recently was a new client, where someone that did not have a Yelp page at all, and they wanted to know, like, is this a good area for me to even put out that I have a Yelp page? And it was a health client. And what we did, again, dove into the inventory, saw what was available, and if that's something that's like a good place for them to approach. And we saw that, again, there was inventory there, but we wanted to take a different approach in terms of just how we work with this account. So we build out the Yelp profile and input a lot of content when it comes to just like the health industry, because it gets very competitive in that industry. And what we were able to do, again, put a little bit of budget onto that and we were able to see a 26% increase in customer leads from what they were currently seeing in previous advertising. And we were able to generate a 44% conversion rate, and things are really ramping up with this client moving forward. So whether if you already have a pre-existing account and you want to do better, we can work with you with that, or whether if you don't have a Yelp account, we can create one for you and be able to help you generate great results. So at the end of the webinar, you're going to basically see Michael's email, so you can reach out to him where you can send your Yelp listing, or if you don't have one, shoot over your website, and we can take a look at that together and come up with a game plan for you to be chosen and to be found.
Cool. I think it's really cool to see all the great work that Mo you've done with DSG and earning all the success for your clients to be found and chosen with Yelp. So one thing I'm really excited to announce to those of you on the call today who want to become yet another success story with this promotion is this offer that is offered exclusively through our Yelp partners like DSG. Which is if you start up a Yelp CPC ad campaign at $1,500, you're going to receive that enhanced profile with all its specific benefits, plus all of those page upgrades that Mo walked you through before, the verified license, the logos, the portfolios, business highlights. You'll get all of that at no additional cost. So think of it as, you're going to get all the features you'll need to be chosen for free with just a little bit of investment in getting you found with the CPC ads. So really excited to be able to offer that up to the group today.
That's great. Thank you so much, Mo and Christina. Just a couple of notes on the case studies. It's funny, right? One of them was in healthcare, right? Maybe
Yes.
not the primary category that you would expect for Yelp, and to see such good responses. Home services probably more so, but again, maybe not top of mind of what you'd think of for Yelp. A lot of people think of restaurants and retail and that type of thing. And I do just want to also point out that of all our partners, and DSG really measures very, very deeply and reports various KPIs for our clients, analyzes the data that comes in. And in fact, we've got a whole platform that we've developed in order to do that. But generally, Yelp is one of our highest performing platforms as far as ROI and return on ad spend. Now, on those, I do just want to point out, we saw kind of like an instant bump in month one on both of those. And while that happens, I do want to set the right expectations. And generally, it does take a little bit of time to break in. Those two are still ramping up, but we were really pleased to see some immediate results. So let's take a look, see if we've got any questions in. Here's one, probably more for Mo. Is there a maximum number of cost per click ads that are displayed at the top of the search results? And is there a way to ensure being number one?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the unique thing about Yelp is the fact that when you're advertising against your local market. So that number varies depending on where you are, who your competitors are, and who's also advertising in that area. So it varies. Sometimes there could be 3, there could be 4 or 5, depending on what area and who your competitors are. Now, when it comes to basically showing up at the top, or being chosen, that's where the page upgrades come in. For example, the business highlights is going to separate yourself as a business owner where, for example, if I'm looking for a plumber and someone says like 24, we do 24 service, and then they have that as a business highlight, I'm more reluctantly to click on that. Let's say if they're a salon, I might not need that. But like certain business highlights can definitely help with that, or verified license. So one thing that we would use, or that I would suggest in terms of being chosen from other ads, is utilizing some of the page upgrades, the portfolios, and something that you mentioned DSG does before is we would have coupons as the portfolio. So it'll advertise as like, hey, this is a business, but then they also have coupons available, and then which will lead to a click.
Excellent. Thank you. Let's see. This one may be for Christina. Christina, are you seeing any spikes in any particular verticals as far as traffic goes? Things have changed so much as a result of COVID that some of the verticals that are getting a lot more traffic and activity may have changed.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing peaks in traffic and searches across a lot of different categories. Probably the biggest one that we've noticed is home services, which we've been talking about a lot. Searches are up like 80% versus last year. They're even up versus the year before. So, even exceeding pre-pandemic levels, which is really funny. I feel like it makes sense because all of us are at home like more than we've ever been in our lives probably. And we're probably, in our home office looking around being like, man, I need to do some work on the kitchen, or I really have to get the toilet fixed. And that's, what triggers that search. So that makes a lot of sense. Even in like more recent months, we're starting to see spikes as things are opening up. People are getting back out there. So Mo was mentioning beauty. Like we've actually seen like double the number of searches in just the past 3 months, because I think people are like, wow, like I really need to get my hair cut. I gotta look good when I re-enter society. So things like that definitely goes along with the trends that we're seeing just in consumers and anticipating coming back to normal life again.
Excellent. Great answer. Here's another one that just came in. If I have my advertising budget invested in Google Ads, is there a recommended amount that you would suggest reallocating as a test?
I think I could take that one. So when it comes to like marketing, I think just being on different platforms is always a good thing, and testing and seeing where you get the best success is where most of the budgets would be. One thing that we always say in terms of just like testing out Yelp for the first time, if you already advertise somewhere else, is that we actually want to put forth, and I think DSG does a great job with setting the right expectations, where the first thing that we want to do is see if there's actually like, what are your goals? And based upon what your goals are and what the cost per lead that you're looking for is, then we take it from there, and we'll see if a larger budget would be good, or starting out with a smaller budget, where if we just get started, let's say with $500 or $600, with getting started there, we can put together a test where it could be like for a month or two, and when we see great results, we can then ramp things up.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I kind of have a saying that I always use: we can't write a prescription until we diagnose the patient. So everyone's going to be extremely different depending on your vertical, your geography, your budget, what exactly you're looking to achieve. And so, as Mo mentioned, at the end, there'll be some contact info. And if you'd like us to do a free evaluation of your particular situation, we'd be happy to and make recommendations for you. Looks like we've got one more. Maybe this one's for Christina. What type of lead delivery options do the custom call to action links support?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. That call to action button on your page, it can be linked anywhere. So a lot of businesses use it to drive phone calls. So you can put a phone number in there, or you can link to a page on like your actual company website. And that's not limited to just the home page. A lot of businesses will direct that to maybe they have a form fill, or like a calendar page to like actually set an appointment. even during COVID-19, a lot of people were using that just to be like, get more information about how we're, adapting to the pandemic. So yeah, there's a lot of options to drive that button where you need customers to go. And then you could also customize the text in there. So of course we have, the default like learn more or contact us, but you can even customize it to be like offer available, like click here, that sort of thing. So yeah, there's a lot of freedom to make it really clear what you're trying to communicate and get people where you need them to go.
And I just want to piggyback off of that. One of the great things about like our platform and then working with DSG is the fact that the expectations of the types of leads that the client's going to get, that's where we focus, or DSG heavily focus on driving those results. So for example, the case studies we mentioned earlier, where I believe in the beginning they received on 15 location about 100 leads, and now over 800 leads monthly. The metrics that we really focused on were calls and messages to the businesses. And those were the things where, the client saw as these are valuable leads that I really care about and what I can equate like add, dollars to at the end of the day. So we normally, especially like when working with a client, DSG does a great job. Sometimes we'll set up calls where it's like, hey, this is where the lead's going to end up. This, it'll go to this email. So you can respond here, log into the app, and then be able to convert those leads. So we do a great job at that.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Mo. We talk about funnels all the time, right? From the consumer point of view, they're deep in the funnel. They're ready to make a decision. But the advertiser's got a funnel too. They want to ingest the lead in a certain way or in a combination of ways. And then they've got a path that they lead clients down, in order that they lead consumers down in order to try to convert them. So aligning with that as best we can, again, is just another factor that increases ROI and increases conversions.
Yeah.
Well, let me check and see if there are any more. I don't see any other questions. So with that, I think we can wrap it up. You see my contact information there, like we said. If anyone has any questions or would like us to evaluate your particular situation, we would be happy to. And we'll be sending out an email to everyone who attended right after the webinar here with more contact information and a link in order to watch it or share it as well. So Mo, Christina, thank you so much. You guys are getting a 5-star review from me, for your work this afternoon. Really appreciate you being here.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.